Learn to cut Spanish ham with Diego Hernández. Art, talent, and passion for gastronomy. The correct cutting of Spanish ham is fundamental if we want to bring out the maximum taste of this culinary delicacy and to present it at its very best. And if we talk about the cutting of Spanish ham, we have to talk about Diego Hernández, a young man from Valladolid in Spain who has managed to parade the name of his region, Castile and Leon, throughout the world. Not content with attaining the Guinness World Record by cutting 1,600 slices of ham in 1 hour, he has also carried off the Spanish Ham Cutting Championship at the 2008 Madrid Gourmet Competition. His professionalism and style have led him to cutting the first jamones ibéricos to arrive in the United States and Canada, showing these new markets the art of jamón ibérico cutting and how to obtain the best taste from this product. In spite of his tender years, Diego Hernández has delighted the thousands of people who have watched, enthralled, the movement of his carving knife over the ham. Man and knife form a perfect team for the enjoyment of this gastronomic treat and for experiencing an unforgettable spectacle.
Kitchens worldwide show their worship for a well-carved ham.
Jamón ibérico enjoys the highest recognition in Spain and those countries which have a Mediterranean diet. But it is now also crossing borders and reaching markets where its excellence and dietary benefits are now being fully appreciated. Jamón ibérico is therefore a great ambassador for the Mediterranean diet, and if, furthermore, it is properly cut, the result is ideal on the palate and for the rest of our senses. To taste the ham in the very best conditions, it is essential to have certain basic notions, which will help us to enjoy the Spanish delicacy even more. In the first place, we have to bear in mind the ideal temperature for its consumption, which is between 18 and 22 degrees centigrade, about 64 and 71 degrees Fahrenheit. In the second place, it's necessary to know the different parts of the leg of ham, and thus to know where to start slicing.
The ham must be carved depending on whether we're going to use the entire ham immediately or if it's going to be consumed over a period of days. If we are going to use the entire ham immediately, then we need to start carving the ham with the hoof pointing up. However, if we plan to consume the ham over a period of time, then we should carve the ham with the hoof facing down.
In a leg of ham, we can find 4 clearly specific zones. The main zone or shoulder, the underside of the shoulder, the area of the shoulder joint, and finally the knuckle. Knowing the parts of the ham is fundamental in order to be able to appreciate the different flavors of each of the areas. Some experts even claim that within the same leg, up to 7 different flavors can be tasted. Once we have decided where to start, it is essential to work with the appropriate tools. It's fundamental to have a table of the correct height for each person and where we feel comfortable, as well as a ham support or brace which correctly maintains the leg in place. The knives which we are going to use for carving should also be perfectly prepared, cleaned and sharpened. We will need one long flexible knife, another short, strong, pointed one, and a third one with a wide blade like a meat cleaver. We should also have a knife sharpener or stone to hone the blades of the knives and keep them smooth and in perfect condition.
I would also recommend a safety glove to avoid accidental injuries.
To begin, we should make a deep cut in the shin bone with the cleaver and remove the rind and outer fat, which should be put to one side for subsequently covering the leg where we have carved, and thus better to preserve it should we not finish all of the ham. Having removed the rind and outer fat, the meat is now exposed. We shall also clean away from the sides any layer of mold or rind in order to eliminate any rancid flavors. If the ham is going to be consumed in one day, we must remove all the rind and outer fat by skinning the ham. Otherwise, we should peel and remove the fat as we slice the ham. With the long carving knife, we can begin to slice the ham from the back side, which is the widest part of the ham. The slices should be as thin as possible across the entire width of the piece, but not too long and never over 7 centimeters, about 3 inches. When the leg is very wide, the carving should be made diagonally. When we reach the leg bone, we should use the pointed knife and make a deep downward cut around the bone so that the following slices can come cleanly away from this area. The carving should continue as straight as possible, even on the underside of the shoulder. The cutting of this part can be done in the opposite direction until we reach the same point as the shoulder. In the area of the femur and knuckle joint, the slices should be carved only from the underside next to the shoulder joint, leaving the upper side or hock to the end. Once we have finished carving the areas next to the knuckle joint, we should turn the ham over and continue slicing on the underside. The carving of the slices finishes on the lower part of the back of the leg or stifle of the ham, and always with small, thin slices. If we stop carving, we should protect the zone with some of the thickest pieces of fat and rind, which we have already put aside at the beginning. In this way, the outer fat of the leg will remain fresh. Once all the meat has been sliced off, we can use the ham bone to give a delicious taste to soups or chickpea stews.
Now, after a job well done, we can proceed to taste this exquisite delicacy. And remember, the ham on iberico is one of the most precious delicacies of our gastronomy.